All right, so today I'm going to show y'all how to pick different funds when you're looking for, different mutual funds to invest your money in terms of like your 401k plan. So this is Fidelity. If your job does it through another company, I don't know how it'll look, but this is how it'll look if you have Fidelity net benefits. You feel me? So this is what you'll see when you go into your thing. So these are what I currently have. Look, my investment performance. Um, Currently I have $1,883 in here. And you could see I'm invested in EISMX, so EVATL cap mid cap, coal dividend income, advanced, whatever, Fidelity 500 index, JP Morgan large cap growth R4, um, T row priced whatever, capital appreciation, PRWCX. So I'm gonna show you. These are what I initially chose. I went in and changed them recently, so I'm taking money out of like three of them and putting them in other places because I was looking at them and I was like, these are not good. I need to change it around. Why did I not look at everything when I first did it? But I decided to change that around last night before I kept investing my money into this employer 401k. But here I have my other browser where I'm gonna show y'all like, what I how I look at stuff. I did it really quick. Of course, you could go in way more depth than I do, but I'm gonna show you what, even if you're doing like the most minimum type of research into what you're looking at. So I'll show you these five first. Currently I have it split up 20% in each. So 20 times five is obviously 100%. Currently is split individual evenly between each one. So each one has like around $370 in it. All right, let's look at the first one. It's EISMX. All right, so when we look at this one, it's $37.24. So um, for each $37.24 you put in, you get one stock. You feel me? One stock of this. Year to date return is 5%. I was like, 5% is not that good. I could definitely do better than that. So this is one of the ones that I definitely switched around. Expense ratio is 0.88%, which is pretty good. Morningstar, four out of 5 stars, which honestly isn't bad either. 5 days has been up 81%, and a month has been up almost 4%. 6 months has been up 1.55%. Year to date, it's up 8.79%. 1 year, it's down 45%. 5 years, only 2%. Like, that's not looking too good. All time, it's up from 2002 is when it started. It's up 269.44%. So if you invested this in from 2002, you would be up a lot right now. Unfortunately, I didn't think this was very good. Of course, the max looks good, but 5 years doesn't look that good. 1 year doesn't look that good. Year to date is I, but year to date return 5%. I was like, nope, I'm switching this around. So CVIRX is the next one. All right, so we have Columbia Dividend Income Fund Advisor class. This was 4%. I was like, this is probably not good either. 5 days is up 58%, 3.25% on the month. 6 months is up almost 5%. Year to date, almost 7. A year, almost 6. 5 years is pretty good. 36.57%. It looks like it's mainly just tracking like the S&P 500 for the most part. It's also a dividend income, so it's providing dividends, which honestly is not that bad. But I was also like year to date return 4%. Max looks good, but this started in 2012. Um, so it kind of makes sense. 5 years, not bad. 1 year. This one actually isn't that bad. So I honestly could have maybe kept this one, but I think I switched this one also. All right, so let's go down to the next one. FXAIX. Let's get into it. Fidelity 500 Index Fund. All right, so year to date return is 16.89%. That's really good. Expense ratio is really low at 0.015%. Morningstar has it at 5 out of 5 stars. So probably the best one we've seen so far. 5 days is up 88%. 1 month is up 2.41. 6 months, 10.70%. Year to date, 19.87% in a year. In the year to date. So in this year, 1 year, past year is up 10.12%. 5 years, 59.96%. That's amazing. That's what you want to see with your money. Max is like all of the other ones at 200%. It started in 2011, so it makes sense. This is a must-have in your portfolio. If you see it on your Fidelity, I would definitely put this one in no matter what. So that's why I have it in here. That's why I didn't switch it. I was like, I did a good job picking this one. And then let's go into the second one, which is JLGQX. JP Morgan Large Cap Growth Fund Class R4. So let's get into it. Expense ratio, not bad, not as good as the Fidelity one. Morningstar, 5 out of 5 stars. Yield, 0.32%. Year-to-date return, 23.28%. Net assets, 486.49 million. All right, let's get into it. 5 days is up 1.56%. That's, in 5 days, it's up 1.56%. That's actually beastie. And a month is up 3.22%. 6 months, it's up 17.26%. Year to date, 27.98%. 1 year, 12.72%. 5 years, 28.56%. Max, 66.97%. So this is actually pretty amazing. I'm not gonna lie. Like, everything looks good. The year to date returns look good. It did bad during the crash, but everything did bad during the crash. It's been recovering nicely for the most part. And you saw all of these, the year-to-date return, the 1 year, 6 months. Of course, if you bought it if you was accumulating it before the crash, you still took a loss, kind of, but it's been coming back up. So if you've been dollar cost averaging, honestly, right now you're good. You're more than good, because it crashed, but it came back, and it crashed before in 2018 and 2020, but it just comes back with a vengeance. It's mostly following the market for the most part, but it's doing really good in my personal opinion. So the lowest it's been is $33, it seems like. So it doesn't go lower than like 31. And yeah, it's just been growing, and it's probably gonna keep growing. So I think this one is a must-have. If you see it in your Fidelity, just throw this one in there. Easy pick. Let's go into the next one. It's TPRWCX. I typed that in wrong. T Rowe Price Capital Appreciation Fund. This one, year-to-date return actually doesn't look bad. 11.30%, 29.36 billion in assets, 5 out of 5 stars. Expense ratio, 0.72. Oh, yeah, I can't even see that. My fault. Let me bring this up a little bit. But I'm reading it to you, so you feel me? Expense ratio is 0.72%. All right, let's go to 5 days. 5 days, 30%, 0.30%, 2.12%. 6 months is 7.08%. Year to date is 13.31%. On the 1 year chart, it's down 2.18%. 5 years, it's up 13%. Max is up 171%. So if you got it in the 2000s, you would be up, of course, but it's been growing steadily, but it's had its few dips. I personally thought the JP Morgan and the Fidelity was better than this one, so I took this one out. I didn't think I needed this one in my portfolio. I didn't think it was all that amazing, especially on this 1 year. 5 years, of course, is decent, but I mean, just looking at this chart for the 5 years, it doesn't even seem that special to me. So that's why I took this one out. All right, let's move this to the side and let's go down. I'm going to just point out, I don't want to make this video overly long. I'm just point out the ones that I switched to and tell you why I switched to them and why I didn't pick any of the other ones. So the one that I switched to, or the first one that I saw that I liked was, where is it? It's not this one. Where is it? American New Perspective R4. It's been around since 1973. Let's get into it, and I'm going to tell you why. I got rid of one of them and chose this one. All right, so first off the bat, I'm gonna tell you right here, year to date return 17.06%, 1.81 billion in assets. Expense ratio 0.76%, Morningstar 4.5, 4 out of 5. So 5 days is up 78%, 1 month is up 2.41, 6 months 9.21, year to date. Look at that year to date, 19.95%. 1 year, it's up 8%. 5 years is up 22%. I was like, that 5 year looks decent. You know what I mean? And the chart, all of the charts look pretty good to me, in my personal opinion. The 1 month, the 6 months, especially the year to date, the 1 year, the 5 year, everything looks good. And then the max, of course, shows you up to 2002. And this thing has just, it's followed the market for the most part, but it just, I don't know, the chart just looks better to me. And then this year to date return, the net assets looks good. So that's why I ended up choosing this one. You feel me? I think it complements the Fidelity Index one, which is obviously just probably also following the S&P 500. And it complements the JP Morgan large cap growth one because, yeah, you want growth. That's what you really want. And I see it in this one. I see it in those three. I think they're all good picks in my personal opinion. That's why I picked them, obviously. Very biased, but let's get into it. And then, oh, this one also rates them. So you could see the 1 year to 3 year. It shows you which ones they think are the best at the top. So cold dividend was actually one of them. This is probably why I picked cold dividend, even though I didn't look too much into it. But as you can see, the JP Morgan one, really, really good. Like, look at all of this. Like, really good. The Fidelity 500 one, really good too. Um, American New Perspective, 1 year. Look at the 1 year, the 2 year. Like, this is almost right there next to it. You feel me? All pretty good. These ones say they're good, but when you look at the charts, like this one right here, um, this one, you look at the chart, this one, you look at the chart. Even though they're Fidelity and JP Morgan, you look at these charts, these numbers don't match up to what the charts actually look like. So you gotta actually, type them in and look at them to see if you actually like them yourself. So one of the next ones that I got was this one, FSPSX. Fidelity International Index Fund. So one thing about it is an international fund, so you probably do want one of those in your picks. If you do, you don't have to, but I chose it because it's always good to have something that's not like, it's international, you feel me? All of the other ones are probably American based, US based, you feel me? Whereas this is it's tracking the international market. So it's a little bit different. Year to date return is a good 12.07%. Net assets is in the billions. Expense ratio is really low. That's one thing about the Fidelity ones. Their expense ratio is really low, which means you're not paying a lot in fees towards like having this in your portfolio. I mean, all of them are like 0 point something percent, so they're like pennies for real, if anything. Morningstar rating is 4 out of 5 stars. 5 days, it's down. 1 month is up almost 2%. 6 months, 5%. Year to date, 13%. 1 year, basically 13%. 5 years, 10%. And max, 30 at 2011. And then the chart just looks really good. You feel me? Except for this dip, but everything dipped for COVID. You feel me? And then it's just been pretty much growth since then. It's had a small dip, but I think everything had that small dip right here too. Like, you're not gonna find anything without a dip over here in 2022 and this one in 2020. So it's been recovering good. In my eyes, this chart looks really good, and all of these, year to date, 1 year, 5 year look really good. So that's why I chose this. Plus the year to date return and the expense ratio are really good. And then lastly, I chose, where's the last one that I chose? So these ones are the ones that you probably want to stay away from. If you choose anything, choose the stock investments mostly. Maybe you can have a little bit of a bond investment. It's up to you. And if you really wanted to put a blended investment, I say go like really low on these, maybe like 5%, 10%. or 5%, 10% in these bond ones, and then put more money in the stocks, especially if you're young. Like you want to do stocks more than bonds. Old people do bonds because it's like stable, like doesn't move as much. And that's the same thing with these blended investments. They're, or most of them are kind of like not aggressive or as aggressive as the stock investments. So the blended investments, most of them are target date funds, and they're still not terrible. They're not bad, but their year to date returns and their returns in general, you're gonna see like 5%, 7%, like very like average basic returns. Whereas the ones up here, as you saw, they're above like 7%. They're showing like more like 10% ish growth in a year. You feel me? And that's what you want. You want to be aggressive, especially if you're young. You feel me? So that's why I skipped these and I'm not going to show you them because they're all basically like the same thing for the most part. Like they all have the same like numbers. Um, and then I switched from this TRP cap appreciation PRWX. I think I showed you guys this one. I'm going to show it to you one more time. All right, so year to date return 11.30%. This one didn't look too bad, but I just didn't like how the chart looked that much. Personally, I thought I could get something that's slightly better than this. Of course, honestly, looking at it now, this one isn't really that bad, but I just chose to go with something else. And what I chose to go with is, let's see, I'm trying to find it. It was something down here, I believe. Cap appreciation. It was another TRP. I chose this one. TRP US Equity Research Advance. So that's PACOX. And I think I'll show you why I chose this. And it's pretty obvious why I chose this. T. Rowe Price US Equity Research Fund Advisor Class. I chose this. Look at the year-to-date returns. 18.74%, net assets 43.54 million, expense ratio 0.82%, not as good as the Fidelity ones, but not terrible either. 4 out of 5 stars. Look at the 5-day. That's almost 1% in 5 days, 3.11 in a month. That's probably one of the best we've seen so far in terms of a month. 6 months is up 13.33%. Year to date is up 22.94%. 1 year is up 12.01%. Oh, I'm stuttering. 5 years is up 59.18%. In 5 years, it's up 59.18%. That's actually insane. Look at the dip. You see the 2020 dip. Everything dipped right there. And it's still not even a bad dip from 5 years ago. 2018, that's not even a bad. It only dipped like $6 for real. Like it barely dipped. Barely even dipped over here in 2022. Like compared to everything else, all right, that's like a $10 dip. Yeah, $10. That's only a $10 dip. That's not bad at all. That's actually really good. And then max, sheesh, 233%. This chart is actually really beautiful. Like this is a beautiful chart. I'm not gonna lie to you. And this is why I chose this one over the other one. Even though the other one wasn't bad, this one just looks a lot better, a lot nicer, a lot cleaner. It looks like growth. Like it looks like this is like is doing its thing for real. So that's all I really gotta say about this. If you checking out like your 401k and you want to invest your money, if you have some of these in your 401k, your Fidelity 401k, you can choose the ones that I chose because I just showed you why I like them. But you can also make your own decisions. I showed you how I look at them. Of course, you could go more in depth. You could use StockTwits. You could use whatever stock app you have and look at the charts through there. You can also do a little bit more research into the funds. You could go online and pull their reports. That's also an option. But if you're really just trying to do it really quick, just do a quick Google search. Look at the numbers, and go from there. You feel me? That's all I gotta say. But if you invest in your money, please pay attention to where you're investing your money and why you're investing your money and what kind of growth you're looking for. Base it off of what they've done in the past. You feel me? So 1 year, 3 year, 5 year, 10 year is a good benchmark. You feel me? That's all I gotta say. If you like this and you want more finance type videos, just let me know.